right. So I prepared for you kind of a sort of a surface level accounting of how we've done with our income and our expenses. And I thought it was interesting to compare 2023 with 2024 because you will see that we are growing and we are increasing in all of these areas. So kind of wait until people get their forms. So in just to kind of bottom line it, for 2024, our total revenue was $148,614, and $103,536 of that was contributed income. So that's tithes and offerings, that's classes, workshops, all the fundraisers that we've had. And I kind of, you might have to share because I made 20 of these, so you might want to partner up with someone. So I picked out a few things just to highlight. Gourmets for God. As you can see, that's a huge fundraiser for us. Last year, $3,617. And Reverend Elizabeth's birthday is always a good fundraiser. So, and then investment income has come from, we have had an account with Vanguard, which was invested in the stock market. And so we gained interest from that account. Book sales, you can see book sales are good, although we don't make a lot of money on the books because we try to keep the price down for everybody for the book of the month. So totally in 2024, our total expenses, you can look at the expense sheet, which is the second sheet. Our total expenses were $198,979. I know, it seems like a lot. We did a lot in 2024. We had a lot of concerts, events. We brought in nationally known speakers, and we upgraded our equipment last year. Got a new keyboard. Lots of those expenses where things were just to the point where we had to do it. Also, we have a full-time now video engineer, which is Jesus, and of course we have Brian. We also have Alexandria Berg, who is our marketing consultant. She's the amazing woman that is creating all these flyers that we have. She's doing all this Facebook advertising. She's working with the New Times and any other place that we're placing advertising. She is definitely giving, she's tithing her time and talent along with we are paying her. What else? What else do I want to point out here? Yeah, camera and sound equipment we increased. But what's really interesting is if you look at the first page, our total expenses were $198,979. But our net revenue we were in the red, $50,365, very close to what it was in 2023. And that's because our income increased in 2024. So that's a very good trend for us to notice. And I want to point out that in 2023 is when we became a CSL. And when we became a CSL, we were given access to the funds that were generated when the small little church building in Templeton was sold. And so that's what that Vanguard account was. And so we knew that that was something we wanted to use to invest in this spiritual community, and that's why we went ahead and brought in these nationally known acts. We had Karen Drucker and Gary Lynn Floyd last year. It was amazing. And so, and we also, as a board, made a commitment to having a full-time minister. And so that investment in that church building is our seed money for this incredible opportunity for us to have a full-time minister. So I guess what I'm trying to say is everything that you see here was intentional. We're paying attention to these things and we're making decisions based on our belief in using that money to grow this spiritual community. So, does anybody have any questions? Yes, Lori. Yeah. Yes, so we have 3 accounts. We have a checking account, we have a savings account, and a CD. And so the CD, of course, we're not touching because you're not supposed to do that. So it's sitting there gaining interest. The savings is there if we need it. We found a high yield savings account to put our money in, so we're going to get some interest. But yes, our intention is that when there is a shortfall, we have the assets to handle it and take care of it. And that was the commitment that we made when we realized that windfall of funds from the sale of that building. Anyone else? No questions? Are you kidding me? I was like drilling myself overnight. I'm like, what if they ask this? What if they ask that? What are you going to say? Yes, yes. Okay, Reverend Elizabeth will mention that in the minister's report. Yeah, so we knew that we would be spending more to bring these artists here to see us, but we wanted to open the spiritual community up to the public to let them know what we're all about. So, anyone else? No? Okay, well, that is the financial report.
All right. Thank you. Really, no questions? Concerns? Okay. All right, so next up is my report, and since that question is on the table, I'll go ahead and start with that, and then I'll jump in to cover all the wonderful things that I have from last year. Now, included in all the wonderful things from last year, can I give this to you, Travis? Thank you. We had a lot of events and musicians, guest musicians, and just amazing things, you know. In addition to our amazing house band, we love them so much, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so we really wanted to have these different musicians come in and see if the community loved it and to attempt to draw more people in. And so we advertised, we put ads in the New Times, we let our people know, we made up flyers and had people take the flyers. And then what was interesting for us is that a lot of the community, our own community, didn't come to the events. And so it occurred to us that, you know, maybe there's something else that's wanted. So we really saw it as like a trial run. We wanted to really pump up our congregation and get everything like fired up, right? Which we did, and it was a lot of fun, and we learned a lot. So a lot of what we learned is about additional marketing and how to get the word out, and so we're kind of still working on that, like how to best get the word out. And so I think the more that I'm involved in the community, and the more that the leadership team is involved in the greater community and we have a greater networking sense, right, we'll have greater opportunities to market more. And of course, we're always open to your ideas. If you guys say, hey, have you tried this? Chances are we may have. Like our marketing person is sending events to all of the local places that she knows of. If there's something that we're missing, let us know, because we do have Alexandra who is on top of that. And she even sent something about the monks over to KSBY last week, which I thought was really cool, because the monks that are coming, this is amazing, you know. And that's another thing we noticed that I'm going to talk about a little later, is that we're doing a lot of these events, but we're not seeing very much attendance. And so we're not sure what you guys want. What do you guys want to do? That's going to be a question for later. So there you go. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So I wanted to dive in with covering first our Gourmets for God fundraiser for last year. It was so awesome and powerful. We had 10 events and raised just under $4,000. We had some people come in. This is what happens we noticed the last couple of years when we have new people, they want to get involved. And so we check in with the event hosts or hostesses and say, hey, can this person come? And they're so gracious. They say, yeah. And then they end up paying a little bit. So that goes in throughout the year too. But we had several hostesses and hosts for last year. We had Carolyn Jones, thank you. Lori Napoli, Mo Thompson, Susan Jones, Gina and BJ DiGirolamo, Reverend Diane and Terry, Joy Kent and Anna Rempel. We had Susan again and the Steins, Laureen and David Clark. I think they're already gone today. We had Doreen and Reverend Wayne, and myself and Travis hosted 2 events. So let's give these Gourmets for God event hostesses some love. Yeah. And now I also want to mention that I did hear from someone who was hosting an event. They put a lot of time and money into their event, and they said, I think I would just like to donate the money, and that's fine too. You can, like, if you're like, I want to do an event, and you can think like $300 to $500 basically, but if it's just too much for you, yeah, we'll take your money. No event needed. That's fine, right? That's totally fine. All right. So anyway, these are such wonderful events because we get to spend social time with our spiritual community, our spiritual family, right, in their homes, or somewhere out in the world, and we're actually raising money for our spiritual community at the same time. So it's like a double awesome fundraiser. And so thank you so much to our event hosts and to those of you who bought, who bid in the silent auction, because it wouldn't be what it is without you. So let's give yourself some love too. So I want to look at a couple of the highlights for the year for me specifically, which the first one was the ordination and installation. How many of you attended that? Oh, wonderful. Some of you weren't here yet, so it's okay. The ordination was on April 13th, and it was a huge undertaking with so many volunteers who helped make it a wonderful, memorable, and deep spiritual and holy event for me. I was so touched and moved and inspired by the love and support of everyone in this community. Reverend Diane, who coordinated the volunteers, and everyone involved were so beautiful. It was a labor of love, I know, and I'm just so grateful. It was really meaningful for me personally and professionally, and it was an important threshold for me to cross, and I think it rearranged me. It really changed me. And we had so many out-of-town guests, friends of mine, colleagues, other ministers, and my mentor. You got to meet David Bruner, who I grew up in this teaching with, basically, and learned everything I know from him. Well, most of it. And so we had all of these special guests arriving, and they made it a point to tell me how loved they felt by all of you. So thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. Yes, that deserves applause. Yeah. Such an important threshold for me to cross, and to get to do that with all of you present was such an honor. I'm grateful. Yeah. And then I want to also talk, and then there was the installation, which was the next day, and also a lot of love went into that. We had cake. which is always good. Madonna cake, right? Yeah, unforgettable. And that was also amazing and so inspiring, and I'm so grateful. And at the ordination, we had Jimmy, thank you, and the band and the choir, and you guys were so good that I had a minister from Texas, Dallas, Texas, who was the former leadership council president, reached out to ask if they could borrow the lyrics of 2 of the songs that you guys did. I shared that with Jimmy. So now that music is carrying on into other states. So you should be really proud of yourselves. Yes. Yeah. And then volunteers. So I want to just speak to our volunteer program. Words cannot express how deeply grateful I am for everyone who volunteers. You know, as your minister, it really has me feel so loved and supported. Maybe it seems like it's just a job for you to do, but it really is a wonderful thing for me. It makes me feel like we're part of this family and like we're building something. We're all in this together, and we're building something together, and we build something up every Sunday for ourselves and for others to join us. And I want us to really get what a gift that is to the world, to our community and beyond, right? So thank you. I'm so grateful. And we haven't really had an all full out volunteer program, but that's something that I'm working on for this year. I mean, as far as having volunteer events and volunteer appreciation and recognition, that's also very important. And my time in the past was limited, but not anymore. So there we go. We're all in this together. You're such a gift to the world. And being in selfless service, if you haven't gotten into selfless service yet, a reminder that this is how we get out of our own way, and this is how we get out of our heads and into the community that we love so much, right? All right, so you are like all crew members, yeah? So classes and events and workshops. As I mentioned, Travis is going to go into a lot of the details on the concerts and other events, but I want to call your attention to the fact that we did not have a lot of classes and workshops last year. We had them planned, but they didn't happen as I would have liked them to happen because of the passing of my mother. And so there was grief involved in that. And she, for those of you that don't know, she passed away on December 10th of 2023. And so there was a lot of work. You don't really know until it happens, but she had an estate, right? Huge house that we now live in. But there was a lot of cleanup and things to sell and dealing with the lawyer and all these different people. So there was a lot. I was a lot happening, and also grieving through that or not grieving through that, and then grieving later. You know, so I just am also very grateful for walking through that with you guys, like being able to come here every Sunday and still deliver an inspiring message was so important for me. Like, you probably don't realize that, right? But it was good. I had you to look forward to. I get to come and be with, you're my family, right? So thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we're a family. Now, we did have Prosperity Plus 2 towards the end of the year, and that class was held online via Zoom, and we had, I think, 20 attendees or around there, and that was really amazing. How many of you were in that? Yeah, lots of you. Was it awesome? Yeah, really good, really good. So we might need to do that again. We also had, I put down 2 ministerial classes last year, or did we just have, we had 2, right? Yeah, so there were 2. I taught 2 classes for Susan and DeLon, and that takes time too, right? And so they are in their last class right now. They have one more meeting, and then we're doing an immersion, which is prepping them for their oral and written exams. And so they're going to be graduating. I'm not even doubting it at all. They're walking in the graduation ceremony for Emerson Institute in October of this year in Kansas City. Yeah, it's exciting. Yes, they have seen many iterations of this community since they started in their classes, and they've stuck to it. So I'm so proud of you guys. And so I'm also thrilled that we're going to be offering more classes in 2025. Another thing we did last year, Travis and I kicked off a Wednesday evening service, which we held for a few months, and there was minimal interest and minimal attendance, so we ended that. And then we had a morning meditation that was facilitated by Ann Hanneline. You might remember that being announced a lot last year. And so she was leading that from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday mornings for 19 months. And interest and attendance was waning, and so she felt called to be complete in that commitment, which was fine. And then the beautiful thing was 1 week later, Karen Leary, who's not here today, reached out expressing interest in facilitating a meditation. And she started in January. Now, she started with a Wednesday evening meditation and a Thursday online meditation. But then she had a health issue, and so we had to change that up a little bit and postpone it. And we think that perhaps so many changes maybe confused people. But the point is that with minimal interest and minimal attendance, we've chosen to cancel the Thursday Zoom meditation. Not the Wednesday. The Wednesday seems like it might be growing, but it's still minimally attended, 5, 6 people, right? But that's fine. And so that's beautiful. So we have our annual picnic in the park, and Jimmy and the band did an unplugged set, and Travis joined in. I even sang in the choir. That was so fun. Yeah, we had a blast, didn't we? Who was there at that? Yeah, it was really fun. I love that. It's so great to get together in community like that and just celebrate and be social. And we also celebrated Reverend Wayne's, was it your 85th birthday? 80th. Oh, he said no. Wayne's 80th birthday with another epic Madonna cake. We love our Madonna cakes. So any excuse, you got a birthday, come on, let me know. We'll get you a Madonna cake. I'm just kidding. It's so important, though, for us to spend time together in community outside of Sunday services, right? So I really want to emphasize that. This is how we grow. And so part of what we're doing with our different events and the weekday stuff is we want to draw in other people, but we also need some of our own people there that the new people can talk to. So that would be wonderful if that calls to you. We've also had concerts and retreats. So we had our leadership retreat with Carrie Ascension, and that was in August, and that was for the soul support team and the board members. And so we got together with her at Allegretto Winery again and did a lot of great work together. And that's really when it became clear that we needed a full-time minister, and that person was me. And so, And so that was a beautiful event. And then we had Karen Drucker and Gary Lynn Floyd on retreat, and that was a beautiful retreat. How many of you attended that here in the pavilion? Yeah, it was so awesome. I heard we had a great event planned, and then Travis and I had COVID, so we had to miss it. And then Susan stepped in. Yay, Susan! So I'm just grateful, right? We come together as community. And we had Daniel Nahmod, Eddie Watkins Jr., Denise Rosier doing concerts, and we had Melissa and Z, and I think last year they did the Enneagram workshop, right? That was fun. We had about 10 or 11 people in that. But Travis is going to outline more about those special events and musicians and everything. And then we had our Tuesday evening holiday candle lighting service and dessert potluck. That's always really fun. I love singing our New Thought Christmas carols and traditional carols. So fun. It's a different type of service. And so last year, I want to acknowledge that the musicians performed a lot in December, and it was a lot for them. So can we just give them some love? Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like six times, right? Because we had 5 Sundays in December, and then we had the Tuesdays. So I know that was a lot, and I'm grateful. And everyone here is grateful. So, and those not here are grateful. All right, so we're up to great things already in 2025. We had our vision board play shop in January with 10 attendees. We started, as I mentioned, our first class in February, our first day class with me as the minister, and that was Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom. We relaunched our Wednesday meditation, this time from 6 to 7, so we'll see how that goes. And as I mentioned, I put in here, we launched our Thursday meditation because it was requested by some community members, and then the last 3 have had maybe 1 or no attendees, so we made last Thursday the last one, and the Wednesday evening meditation will continue because it's a small group of folks, but I think they're relying on it, and that's important to us. And then we have Tibetan monk Geshe Lobsang coming to our office this week to lead 3 talks with meditations and Q&A. And so he's going to be speaking on mindfulness and then doing a meditation on mindfulness, and then we can ask. It's like a satsang style. And then the next day is loving kindness, and then the next is compassion. Now, I was speaking with the person organizing this. Her name is Beth. And some of you may know Beth, but she was just so fired up. And in my mind, I kept saying, we don't have time. We don't have, this is too much. And then I don't know what shifted, but I know what shifted. She was talking about the energy and how, you get to be in the presence of the monk one time and something happens, okay? Something happens that we can't articulate, right? There's a consciousness that we tune into with these monks because this is what they're doing all the time, right? And so they are practicing their practice, and then they come to share that with us. So this is a huge opportunity for us, and it was Beth's idea for us to do a 3-evening thing. And, my mind was like, oh, who's going to come to that, right? And then it occurred to me that, this is actually a great thing for us because this is, I'm in my now 3rd month of full-time ministry, and it's going to bless our space, and it's going to raise the vibration of that space, and it's going to clear up any stagnant energy that we've had there, which includes any thoughts or anything that might be interfering with us becoming all that we came here to be. So bring it on, monk. That's what I'm saying. But I really, there's no fee to attend, so it's the job of this monk to create peace in our world, and I know that we all need this. So I recommend that you all attend at least one of these. I know a few of you have already said I'll be there at every one, and so because the transformation that awaits, no fee to attend, love offerings accepted. I guarantee you will not be the same person you were when you walked in to this event. Now, we also have Jamie Nicole doing a sound healing on Wednesday, March 19th. That's next Wednesday. So for the next 2 Wednesdays, we aren't having the regular meditation, but we'll pick it up after that. So she's doing a sound healing for inner peace. Again, it's a love offering event. No one's turned away. Like if you're temporarily financially challenged, please come to this event, Or if your budget's just not showing that you have it in your budget, come to this event, It's like she is in agreement to host these events on a love offering basis, knowing fully that it's her way of giving back. So we can be great receivers, right? Yeah, and you can give what you can. Maybe it's $5, and then maybe the next person who is feeling super abundant can give a little more. I mean, this is what love offerings are. It's okay to attend and not give $25. That's just her suggested thing. So I invite you to attend. Again, you will not be the same person you were when you walked in. Yes, Mark. Wow. Thank you. That's nice to hear. That is cool. Thank you. Yes. We have some people who found us from the article, Frank and Sue and Tom. Yeah. Tom came in one morning with the paper in his hand. He's like, I'm looking for this person. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you're still enjoying them. That's great. I love to hear that. It makes me so happy. Because a lot of times I'm writing them and then it's like, is this going anywhere? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down, right? And occasionally, now that I have my email address in the newspaper, I'll get an email from someone that I don't know, and it's really cool. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. So that's great. It gives us exposure, out in our community, and it gives me an opportunity to write and share this message. And so that's what keeps coming up for me, because sometimes we get like, oh, we have to get more people. We need more people, more butts in the seats. And we, and then it's like, okay, while that would be nice, what we really want is for people to get this teaching, right? It's not that we just want to fill the seats up. We want to share this teaching with people because I think they would benefit from it. That's why I'm here. That's why I spent like 15 years studying, right? And so it's like the moment when somebody does have that flash of illumination or that spark or glimmer or shimmer, that is so amazing. I love it. And so we don't just want more butts in the seat. We want to get this message out to others, don't we? Yes. And so we are birthing new programs this year. I just have a few more notes here to share with you. We're birthing new programs, and so we've got spiritual travel with our first trip being to Bali. Yay! Bali in September. How many in here are going to that? All right. Yeah, we've got a good group. And then we have some others who aren't here. We have a membership program coming with some new member classes brewing up and new member ceremonies. More about that later. Just planting the seed here for you. We've got connecting circles. So that's being revived with some new leadership around that. And so we have a new women's circle in formation. Men's circle already happening. That's amazing. Also, look around. Amazing that we have so many men in this community. There's a lot of communities that have like one token man. So let's give the men some love. Right? I know. I feel like, men, stand up. No. There's like, 1, 2, 3, almost one in each row. This is great, right? Oh, there's 3 in the back row. 2, okay, 1, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. There's like 10 men in here. That's amazing. I know. We're blessed. We're blessed. And so let's see. Connecting circles being revived. So BJ and I met last week. She's going to be starting a spiritual living circle, which involves taking the Science Mind magazine and reading articles or columns and discussing them together. It's a big thing in the larger community, and there's already like discussion questions all mapped out and different articles and stuff. So I definitely encourage you there'll be a sign-up sheet for that coming soon. She wants to start in April. Oh, there better be one soon. May. Okay. So that'll be good, and then she might be doing that during the day, but we'll see. So friends, if you have an idea for a circle, please let me know, or if you want to be in a circle and don't know how to get to that, let me know. We're going to start a pledge program this year in October. This will be our first pledge drive, and so the purpose of that is to help us with planning our budget for 2026, and also to help individuals enhance your relationship with Spirit, and through committed giving, so tithing in a regular and consistent manner, right? And then a volunteer program with quarterly meetings for volunteers and volunteer recognition. And oh, by the way, we need some more volunteers. So we have many opportunities to get into volunteering, and it doesn't have to be a big, huge thing, We need everything from some office support to hearts and hands. We have Susan, a lot of people on double duty, and we have a large enough community where that doesn't have to happen. I mean on a Sunday. For example, Jim singing and being in the choir, and then also needing to come up to do announcements. And so thank you for that. And at the same time, it's like we don't need to do double duty. We have a large enough community. And so I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I hope it's not sounding that way. But just an awareness, right? So Susan, for example, wears a ton of hats, and if she's doing multiple things, then she doesn't get to be with the community, and she is an upcoming minister, and so she really needs to be in the community. You know what I mean? And so we're going to be working on that. We'll have ways of recruiting volunteers that get you fired up and excited. No guilt. There's no guilt. Sorry if it came out that way. And then we have our children's program, which has reinvented itself as Spiritual Sprouts, and that occurs twice per month. We're seeking families to attend services on the first and fourth Sundays. Kids are always welcome here too, by the way. So if you know a family that wants to come, but you're not sure about the kids program, they can come. It's fine. Everyone's welcome. And Hearts and Hands reinvented themselves with some new events under the leadership of Susan Jones. Let's give Susan some love. You know, Susan, whenever there is like a void, Susan steps in to fill the void, and we're very fortunate that she does that, because look at the amazing stuff we had today. That takes coordination, so really, let's give her some more love. So we're a community of love and joy, and we want this to be enjoyable. We want these Sundays to be enjoyable for you guys, right? Not like, oh God, I gotta go do 14 things. We want this to be enjoyable. So we are a community that is growing together, and it takes a village, right? You can't have a village with one person doing a bunch of stuff. You know, there's specialties. Each person has their thing, and so with that, we have some little sheets that Susan passed out at the beginning, and that is a checklist basically it's a volunteer checklist, like what areas would you be interested in volunteering in? Just out of curiosity, this is not a commitment, but we may call you and invite you into service at some point. So if you were to be in service, what kind of things would you like to do? So please fill that out and hand it in before you leave today. Thank you so much. And so we're also going to have a survey coming soon around different events. I want to know, this is your community, right? This is our community. What do you guys want to do? I don't know. Do you just like coming on Sundays? Or should we do other events during the week? And if so, what should we be doing? What time? What day? That kind of thing, right? Because we want to be of service to you, and I can pretend like I know and test it out, but what if I just ask? That's genius, right? Yeah, and so we're going to poll, and then, again, I recognize that because you're interested in a particular thing, it may not be that you can come at that particular time, but we really want to know, like, if it's something that you're not going to come to, then you don't need to put it down. So what would you really love? Daytime, evening, 5, 6, 7, 1 hour event, 10 a.m. on Wednesdays, like that, right? All right. Does anybody have any questions for me at this point? Or comments or suggestions? Yes, Jody.
I have a comment. It's really a wonderful thing to be involved in this community, and the best way to do it is by taking classes and going to the events that we have, the Longing for God stuff. I've gone to a lot of those, and even though I see people at church and we chat afterwards for a minute, you don't really get to know each other. And
Yeah.
I've gotten to be close with people through the classes and the events. So, and those things are also the meditations on Wednesday nights or different classes. Anyway, that's just my This is a loving community, and there's so many great people, and that's the way to do it. Plus, Elizabeth is a fantastic facility.
Thank you. Thank you, my mother-in-law. She has no bias. I did not pay her to say that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I love that we have a line that says tithes to others, and it's a pretty significant sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, who do we give to in the greater community?
Oh, good question. So we do give to Friends of Atascadero Lake because we spend a lot of time here. We give to them every month, right? And then we give to, I think there's 3 different organizations, and so we rotate in our giving to them. We have Loaves and Fishes, Echo, and Woods. Oh, I got it right. So Woods, you know all those? Yeah, yeah. And then we also donate to Anton / Emerson Institute, which is what this organization was formerly affiliated only with Emerson. Now we have a dual affiliation. We're affiliated with CSL and Anton. And so we also give tithe to a CSL every month. So, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, very good. Yes, Susanna. No, we rent this building on Sundays, and then it can be rented other days of the week. We just have to get on the schedule early, and we get a nonprofit rate of $45 an hour. And so typically we have this room for like 4 hours on a Sunday, and then we pay that quarterly. Now, this is a big expense because we also have our office on El Camino. And let me tell you, we have tried many times to, hey, let's get a building. Let's get our own building. But nobody wants to leave the lake. They love coming here on Sundays. So also, as a side note, it's a lot of work to set up on Sundays. It's totally worth it, but it is work. So that's why we need more volunteers. And just for example, Jim has been doing the setup probably over a year on his own, and I know at some point he's going to go, I'm done. But why do we have to wait for him? It's like we don't need to burn bodies for fuel, right? Why can't we rotate and get in a rotation? So I know that maybe Mark and Tom have stepped in a little bit, right? So anywho, somebody else had a question. Yeah. How did it go down? Oh, I'll tell you, because the pavilion didn't bill us in time. They billed us, yeah. Because they bill us quarterly. It's going to be a bigger increase, yeah. And so, yes, Sue.
I'd like to share that. I've been in other churches in the past who did have buildings, and a meeting like this is filled with cracks in the sidewalk, the plumbing, the roof.
Yeah,
And although Sunday is a lot of volunteer work, it's
worth it.
so enjoyable and worth it compared to maintenance.
Oh, yes. So BJ and Gina know all about building, and I know all about, I was like, I'm not in ministry, I'm not in facilities ministry. Like, that was consuming my time, right? And then BJ and Gina, I think, were the closest to the other building, and they would just be like crying, like, oh, we had to do this and that again. and I'd get calls like, oh, there's a WASP thing, and you got to get the WASP blah, blah, blah out. And I'm like, what? Wood and spiders and all, blah. And so it was a lot of work, and we were really happy to be done with that building. Anyway, I digress, sorry. We love buildings, other people's buildings. Right? Yes. We do like to use this space. So, for example, today, we just have to reserve it in advance, right? So we do that, and like the Daniel Namod concert, we got this space. One of the things we learned last year was moving from here to a concert at the office doesn't work. So, yeah, we lose a lot of people, and then it's like, oh, yeah. So those are some of the lessons that we learned. We can rent it for other events, yes. Thank you for summarizing that for me. What else? Yes.
I was gonna, but my thoughts have totally changed on this. I've been all keen on us having our own building, so that we don't have to set up, so that we don't, you know, you can show up and do, and it's all squared away.
Yeah.
But in the last year or so, I've been thinking about the maintenance
Yeah.
and the expenses, and like, that's not much rent for this room.
Yeah.
And I know everybody loves this, and I love this too.
Yeah.
So my thoughts have kind of changed.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, right. I know. Just the big picture that we don't really think about, right? Yes. Well, yes, it would be nice to not have to set up. It's also really nice to not have to deal with all the things that Sue outlined. And we can focus on ministry, Sue.
That's exactly it, to focus on the outreach and
Yes.
the bigger picture. Frank and I got to go to a CSL church in Sacramento this last summer, just dropping in. And it was a fascinating group because they were a small group and they were so invested in the remodeling of the building.
Yeah.
Inside, that when we showed up, the poster on the door facing the parking lot was 2 years old. They didn't know if we were in the right place. And I pointed it out and they're like, oh, we haven't looked at that. And it changes, you know, it just changes your focus.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy this group is community-minded and not
Yeah.
facility.
Yes, it's so good. Thank you. Mark.
What I like about the vista of the sky and the lake and these windows is it opens one's consciousness.
Opens one's consciousness, yes.
It makes you much more available for a good talk rather.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. And then it helps get in, because then you're in your hakalau, right? We talked about hakalau, because you're not so focused on me, your focus is on the lake, and then you're hearing what you need to hear. It's going into your unconscious mind, and you're like in the flow state, which is awesome. Hey, Brian, do we have anybody on Zoom?
I mean, you have Carol's iPad,
Oh,
but no question.
okay. It occurred to me that they're not going to be able to hear the people asking questions. But if, yeah.
I've got the room mic amped. They should hear something.
Oh,
Feel muffly.
okay. All right, Diane.
I just wanted to say that when I tell people where this place is, they're like, oh, wow. I mean, really, I get
Yeah.
excited about, I tell people about the church.
Yeah.
And about my minister, and the practitioners and everything, and they're like really interested.
Cool.
And I say it's on the pavilion on the lake, and they're like, I know where that is, awesome.
That's cool. Yay, thank you. Yeah. So we're really in this space of growth, right? So now that I'm full-time, I have more opportunity to talk to more people, to minister to more people, and I'm enjoying that. We did a house visit last week, and so that's been great, and I've been able to make phone calls and pray with people during the week, which I previously didn't have a lot of time for. And so that's feeling good. And then we're a spiritual family, so I encourage you to reach out to me. I will pray with you if you need me, and I would love that. And of course, walk and talks, coffee, lunch, whatever it is you want to do. I want to spend time with you, and I want to hear what are your heart's desires? What would you love to see in our community? And then, so as you saw in the numbers, you know, something's got to change, right? It's not sustainable in the way that it's been laid out. And so my focus has been on money mastery and how my consciousness contributes to our growth spiritually and our abundant growth. And so, but it's not all on me, right? And so really getting to the absolute truth that God is the source of my supply, and that Spirit is funding this ministry, and that we're doing such great work in the world that it will continue to be funded, and I will continue to be gainfully employed, and we will all continue to thrive in our lives individually, and this Awakening Way Center for Spiritual Living will continue to thrive abundantly. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Any other questions? Did he say and so it is too? Good. All right, so I would now like to, I went on, but there was a lot to share, so I would like to now turn it over to, myself to talk about the soul support team. So, so we have a soul support team. I talk about them every Sunday. If you're in the soul support team, will you stand, please? All right. Yes. So we have a few here today. And we did have Anna. Thank you. You can be seated. We did have Anna here, and she left, I guess. So there's a few folks who couldn't be here today, but we have a team of 10 of us, and we meet once a month. And this month, we're having a little practitioner or soul support team retreat facilitated by our 2 ministerial students. And so that's going to be wonderful. And so we're meeting, and you know, what's consistent in these meetings is that they want to pray, right? They want to pray more. So what we have cooking for you is like a spiritual tune-up type of event, or a blessing type of event, where we just have prayer stations set up probably at the office, and it's a prayerful room, and you come in and you can go to each station. A practitioner and minister will be set up at, different stations, and you'll go over and get prayer for whatever it is that you would like prayer for. And then you can go around and get a bunch of different prayers. I'm telling you, this is powerful, right? You can go and get prayer. You'll leave floating, and you won't know what happened. So that's something that we have in the mix. And then they're constantly, wanting to pray for you guys. They love receiving prayer requests. So I'm just reminding you that there's no prayer too small or too large. Okay? And so Reverend Wayne joined our soul support team this last year in April. And so he's been a wonderful addition to our group. Thank you, Wayne. We love you. And we're so grateful. So let's give all of our soul support team some love. And I feel like maybe I didn't talk about, I'm going to invite Jimmy up after Susan comes up for Hearts and Hands, but I just want to reiterate, maybe I don't talk about it too often, but I love these guys. I love what Jimmy's doing with the band, and I feel like the choir has come a long way, and just the whole group, the What Else Is Possible band, has transformed, and you guys are always getting better, and it's so beautiful because you're my mirror, right? I'm always getting better, so we're always growing and evolving and getting better and better, and so who wouldn't want to come and be a part of this amazing energy? People always say they feel the love from this community as soon as they walk in the doors, and that's from us, right? So choir members, band members, thank you. Deep bow. Thank you. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Susan Jones for Hearts and Hands team update. There you go.
Right. I won't take too long. The Hearts and Hands team, I actually spun this up about, 15 or more years ago, because I felt like we needed some people to have their eye on the community as far as who's missing, why are they missing, are they sick, what's going on, like to care for one another. And so we created this team to call people if we didn't see them for a couple of weeks, send cards to people who are ill, celebrate people who are having grandbabies or whatever's going on in their life. And then we had all these projects. And the thing about the Hearts and Hands team that's cool is you can bring into the team something you're passionate about. So an example of that is Paula and Carol Ann are very passionate about the season for nonviolence, and they are on the Hearts and Hands team. And so when we got together, they suggested, like, what can we do? How can Awakening Ways celebrate this season for peace and nonviolence? And so we cooked up some ideas that we could run past Reverend Elizabeth. And that's where we ended up with the movie nights that we put together. Thank you, Gina, for making the movies happen for us. But we also restarted the Echo Meals, which was something that Awakening Ways used to do every other month. And then after COVID, that just kind of stopped. We're back at it every other month, and we have an awesome team of people who love making food and taking it to Echo. We're also collecting food for Atascadero Loaves and Fishes, food and hygiene items like toothpaste, deodorant, and that kind of stuff. And we have other ideas in the works, but we want more people in our team. So if you're interested in this type of thing, this is kind of like pastoral care in a way, in that we're just paying attention to what's going on in the community, and how can we provide opportunities for people to do something as easy as bring some cans of food. We'll make it happen so that Loaves and Fishes gets the food. So if you're interested in that, see me if you want to come and play with us. We meet once a month at noon at the office, and we have lunch.
Woohoo, thank you. I'll take it. So we're going to have Jimmy come up next. Awesome. All right. And Jimmy is going to give our next report. He's going to share about the choir and all that you guys have been up to in the band and what's up for the rest of the year. But I wanted to also share with you that I did some research and found that we have 1.25% of the population of people who live 40 minutes driving distance from us as potential people who could come to our community based on demographics and religion and what people are looking for as far as non-denominational goes, right? And so I just took SLO County. So there's a population of 281,639 people in SLO County. And there may be even more than this, but multiply that by 1.25%, and we've got 3,520 potential people in here. So we need to get the word out to them. All right, come on up, Jimmy. Let's give Jimmy some love.
Wow. Let me turn off my hearing aid. Yes, I do have hearing aids now. I can actually hear what Reverend Elizabeth has to say, which is nice. A lot of you don't know me that well, even though you see me here every Sunday. I've been involved with New Thought Churches as a music director for about 28 years, over about eight or nine different places. This year, it's my 14th year here. So this is over half of my spiritual music life has been in this place, and I had no idea when I started here that after COVID and a heart attack and a stroke and all the things that have happened in the last 14 years that I would still be here. And I appreciate you guys a lot. It's an opportunity of me to live my passion, which is music 24/7. And so I'm doing it. We added a number of people to the choir and to the band this year, and maybe the last year and a half. Darlene and Wayne, big thing for us to have them. Patty and Joni were added, and I'm trying to think. Jesse's been here for a while, and then I want to go back to Ron, our djembe player, has been with me since the very first time we played music here. And as it turns out, in my life as a professional musician, he is the one musician that has played with me longer than anybody in any band I've had in the last 40 years. And neither one of us saw that coming. My choir and my band, especially the singers, are the most dedicated people to what we do in the choir. They were up here twice a week, on Sunday and on Thursday. They practice. We have our own text thread. They're constantly comparing notes. It's a community within a community. It's beautiful. We rehearse on Thursday afternoons from 4 to 6 at the office. So I'm putting it out to everybody that you are welcome to join us at rehearsal. It doesn't mean you have to join the choir. Doesn't mean you have to come sing on Sunday. But if you would just like to hear what we're going to do for a congregational song, show up. I'll hand you the words. You can just sing along with us. And if you don't want to sing, you can just listen. We're trying to get more. It's kind of like a music belonging circle. And we have a really good time. Carol Ann and Doc drop by all the time to see us. And it actually is fun because then we have somebody to perform for. So that's a... Other than that, I want to really thank Reverend Elizabeth and Travis for making this transition from the before times to now be as painless as was humanly possible. Thank you. This is you guys are allowing me in this part of my life to live my passion, which is this music, which is figuring out songs, writing songs, figuring out how to play songs, how to teach them to everybody else. And I'll be able to do this for the rest of my life. I absolutely love it. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Aw, thank you. Oh, you're getting a standing ovation. Look at that. Aw, thanks, Judy. Good job. We appreciate all of it. All right, and now we have Travis to provide our music.
Good afternoon, Awakening Ways. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? All right. Thank you, Brian. I love you, man. All right. So this is the booking agent and artist liaison report. That's right. And I just have a little bit of notes. I'm going to keep this to 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. All right. So this is called Raising the Vibe, a year of musical ministry at Awakening Ways. So, and wow, what a year this has been, right? So from a grand rising in 2024 to all in, we thrive in 2025. We've soared with music and spirit. And as your booking agent and artist liaison, I'm thrilled to share with how our music ministry lit up this community in just 5 minutes or so. So we're going to celebrate the artists, spotlight local soul, and see why this work lifts us all. Last year, soul music masters like Daniel Nahmad, Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, Revs Melissa and Z, Rev Michelle Jordan with Troy Arnett, Heather and Jason Powers, Bob Sima, Jamie Lula, Denise Rosier, Eddie Watkins Jr., Harold Payne, they all moved us with melodies that hit deep, right? From Sunday celebration services, Reverend Elizabeth's ordination and installation celebrations, and intimate concerts, their sound was our heartbeat, drawing us together. Our community's family of musicians kept it rocking. Our house band, Jimmy Townsend and the What Else Is Possible band. They laid down inspiration all year and joined by repeat players like Heart Bloom Kirtan, right? Heart Bloom Kirtan is Doreen Garvin, Robin Haston, Yarrow Nelson, Jerry Marr, and new djembe player Pat Renshaw. They brought devotional kirtan music 4 times throughout the year, packing the house in January 2024 and setting the tone. And by the way, I don't know if you mentioned that. That was our highest attended service at Awakening Ways, January 2024. 85 people. Mark Stanton Welch blessed us with soul music in September, sparking a park party after service. That was awesome. You mentioned that party. And me, Travis Hogue. I stepped up 4 times as a guest artist, from Easter with Jimmy's band to leading music for the August and December 1st services, plus New Thought holiday carols later that month, pushing possibility through every note. I also provided gentle guitar music under Reverend Elizabeth's prayers during Sunday services for many months in 2024. I took a short break due to some hand issues, but I'm on the mend and pumped for my return. So these local artists and our guest stars made soul music a ministry, uniting and uplifting us all year. Now, on to community events and achievements. our music events were electric. Harp Bloom Kirtan packed the house on January 2024, and on March 10th, Reverends Melissa Felipe and Z. Egloff brought music, ministry, and messages so deep and transformational they shifted us inside out. Karen Drucker and Gary Lynn Floyd blessed us with a Saturday Drucker-Floyd retreat, and on Father's Day with music and message for Sunday service. This was an amazing gift from these luminous souls to our Central Coast community. And in December, the holiday and candlelight services with Jimmy's band warmed our hearts into the new year. Now, for the first time in Awakening Way's history, we welcomed this many special artists in one year, 18 unique artists and groups, including myself and Harp Bloom. Over 25 events we did. A huge gift to our community, showing our leadership's deep love and support for music ministry. A personal pinnacle for me and Reverend Elizabeth was her ordination and installation weekend. You spoke to this. This was Saturday, April 13th. Jimmy Townsend and his What Else Possible band filled the room with love and devotion, while Reverend Queen Michelle Jordan and Troy Arnett's duet lifted us to high-frequency inspiration. Do you all recall dancing with DJ One Love, a.k.a. Jason Powers? He kept that after-party pulsing with uplifting beats and dance music. There might be some videos around somewhere. All right, that was fun. Sunday's celebration and installation brought Jimmy's band back with special guest Heather Powers, whose incredible voice and music sealed a weekend brimming with commitment and love. Add the potlucks and concerts, and we built connection, not just services. The wins? Okay. New faces joined. Our musical outreach put us on Atascadero's map for spiritual musicians and seekers. We deepened our collective consciousnesses and raised the community vibe. Every note and prayer tuned us higher, opening hearts and weaving us closer as a spiritual family. One favorite moment for me was a newcomer singing kirtan music with Harp Bloom. And this is making music family real. So kirtan is not for everybody. We, at our house, we love listening to kirtan music. And to watch somebody get in the groove of this devotional Hindu type of music that had never done that before was really a thrill for me. So you might be asking, what is this artist liaison? What is this? So this is my section here. As an artist liaison, I'm the bridge between these talents and you. My wife, Reverend Elizabeth, and I dream up the roster together, picking soul stirrers like Jamie Lula or Harold Payne to match our vibe. We book them, coordinate logistics, marketing, and I haul the gear. Keyboards, guitars, amps, mic stands, whatever they need to shine. I've lugged guitars for Bob Sima and tuned guitars for Denise Rosier. So their music lands right. And this year, I saw a shy guest sway to Jamie Lula's set and proof that this work turns strangers into family, our Awakening Ways family. So as we leap in to All In, I Thrive in 2025, the music rolls on. Next weekend, March 16th, Mark Stanton Welch returns, followed by Daniel Neymad's guest speaking and musical inspiration, keyboards, guitar, and all at month's end. So this is going to be a reunion of sorts. Last year when Daniel Neymad came, one of the investments that we made was an electric keyboard. And that was an amazing expense. There was a lot of money. But the gifts of that was not only did Daniel have a great keyboard to play, but Jimmy Townsend doesn't need to lug his keyboard from home every week. He had a beautiful keyboard, and you've been blessing us every weekend with keyboard music, and the quality of that keyboard is great. It was a great investment. So please, grab one of these. Let your friends know. If there isn't any, there's some marketing on the website and in the newsletter. And I just want to end by saying May 25th brings Carrie Hillary's special reunion. This has been years in the making. She hasn't played here for about 10 years, I believe, is what she said, but that one's, you won't want to miss that. On Father's Day, I'll be back with my own tunes playing. We're working on Jamie Lula's return, Reverend Amy Steinberg, and possibly a Floyd Lula reunion with Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula, and dreaming of Ricky Byers joining us too. I want to make a huge thanks to our Awakening Ways Board of Directors, whose budget approval made this ministry thrive. And thank you all for rising with you. It's been an absolute honor for me to collaborate with you on this. It's my passion for Awakening Ways and its music ministry to shine through. And I thank you so much.
Thank you, Travis. Woohoo! It's been a great year, right? We have one more point of business here, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you so much for sticking it out. I love that you guys are so invested in our community with your time, and thank you, Brian. One thing I did forget to mention is that our average attendance for last year is 52 per Sunday, and so we did have that one Sunday, which was 85, so that's our mental equivalent, right? We can do this, and I want you to see this place filled up with people and the energy just like, oh, we're raising the roof and having to get out more chairs, and how wonderful it is that there are so many of us creating this great vibrational frequency in the world because we're transforming the world, right? Yeah. Woo! All right, Travis got me excited. So, all right, thank you. So the last point of business that we have is very important. We have 2 new board members that we would like to have you vote on. And so they have each accepted our nomination. And so the first one is Sue Christian. Yeah. And then our oh, whoops, Siri's talking to me. I didn't say you, I said Sue. And then our second is Kathy Scrutton. So let's give him some love. And so we just need to vote on them. So Susan is stepping off of the board, and so we're going to have 2 replacements. And there's room for one more. What? Her term is complete, yes. Thank you for, she's not just abandoning us. No, she's actually been on the board for 6 years. So you go 3-year term and then another 3-year term, and then you have to take at least a year off before being considered again. So she may never return. No, I'm just kidding. She's had a lot, so the last 6 years, right? Let's give her some love. Yeah. Thank you. She's going to enjoy having some time back. And so the way that we do this, I don't think we've done this yet, have we? What? Oh, we usually do. Oh, yeah, we need to. So we're going to, you didn't hear her say that. So, so we are going to vote in each one individually. So the first one is Sue Christian. And so, yes, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? You're not going to show your face in front of her? No. All right, so thank you, Sue. Could you come on up here, please? And for the other board members could also come up. And then we have Kathy, so we would like to have all those in favor of Kathy being on our board. All right, and then, yeah, come on up. All those opposed? All right, and so, yeah, come on up, Kathy. Yay, we need somebody to take our picture. It's not official until we have our picture, so there we go. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you. There we go.
I got your shoes and everything.
Oh, good.
Okay, smile. Got it.
Thank you. So let's give some love to our new board. Woo! All right, that was our new business. Is there any other business that anyone wants to discuss at this time? All right, with that, Susan, would you like to do the closing prayer? Okay. Closing prayer, and then we'll adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. All right, just take a moment to close your eyes if you're comfortable. And even the busy bees over there, maybe take a second. Let's just take a moment. What I know is that that one power, that one presence, that one creator is and has been active and busy during this meeting. I know that every single person here is an expression of that divine. And I know that the energy of love, which is Awakening Ways, Center for Spiritual Living, is active and alive in each one of us. And so I know that all of our minds are working on the prosperity and the thriving of this community. And we have that energy within us, and we're sharing it with one another and our greater community. And so I'm just grateful for this beautiful spiritual community, that the message that is so healing and so inspiring for everyone. I'm so grateful that we are here together to celebrate this beautiful spiritual community and to commit to its evolution. And so I know as we leave here today, we leave with inspired minds and hearts filled with love and joy. And I know that there's not another thing I need to say or do about that. That the law, that spiritual soil that is the law is birthing what else is possible for Awakening Ways. So I release this prayer, I let it go, and together we say, and so it is.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your time and love.